Well, hello again and welcome to the VK6CS Amateur Radio channel. Just a bit more on the GS35B amplifier. I've just put the valve and the airbox with the larger fan into the cabinet just to make sure that it will fit okay. And there's plenty of anode clearance between the top of the anode radiator and the bottom of the top of the enclosure, if you see what I mean. And that's fine. It's sitting on a 230 cubic feet a minute axial blower at the moment, and I tried it earlier, and that gives a bit more air through the valve, through the anode radiator, and I'm sure that'll be fine for SSB. The hottest it's going to get will be during tune-up, and you know, it's not going to be for very long, and I don't think it's going to exceed the specifications. If it does, I'll have another look at the cooling, but I wouldn't use it for AM or FM broadcasting, but for SSB, that amount of cooling will be fine. Now, the refurbished HT transformer is sitting in the cabinet there, and I've just positioned the smaller of the two chopping boards. Remember, I was going to use one of the chopping boards as the high voltage board, and as you can see, there's the aluminium brackets at the bottom, either side of it, there and there, to hold that vertical. I haven't got any bolts or anything at the moment. I just put it in there just to see how it looked. The refurbished transformer's got all new terminals on it, and the DIN rail up there actually looks like a new transformer. I'm really pleased with the way that's come out. That's got a new bolt on it. Got rid of the rust, put a new bolt on it. DIN rail goes from side to side, all new terminals. That's enough light actually to get around there and show you that, but it actually looks like a brand new transformer. So I'm very pleased with that. What my intention is to, because it's got two 1000 volt windings, I thought I would just load it one winding at a time on the HT board. So the HT board, instead of getting 2000 volts AC, will get 1000 volts AC from one winding, and I'll see how that looks, and then 1000 volts from the other winding, and I'll see how that looks. So that's what I've got in mind. Anyway, this toroid, that little toroid there, is the heater transformer, or the filament transformer if you're in America. That's not where that's going to be mounted. That's just sitting there at the moment, because there's going to be that and another transformer to run the 12 volt supply to the relays, probably over the back here somewhere, maybe in here, because there's going to be a screen across here, so move that sort of stuff over, put a screen in here, and maybe those two transformers will go one above the other on the power supply side of the screen, if you see what I mean. So and the other, this is the load capacitor, and the tuning capacitor is the same dimensions. That'll just sit on top of it in there like that, so there'll be one knob above the other. So a slightly different design to that front panel I drew out the other day, but you've got to bear in mind that I am making this up as I go along. Now, can I show you that? Can I show you that transformer? I'm not sure it would actually be light enough to. Oh, I could actually take it out of the case and show it to you. But before I do that, I'll just show you. I've got a front panel. Now, how am I going to do this? I need to get that out of the way. Remove those. And if I put the front panel there, now if I angle the camera down, you might actually be able to see it. Sorry about that. There we go. So there's the front panel. So I thought on this front panel I would have the 3 panel meters. So like that. I should have prepared this a little bit better, shouldn't I? Really, I just sort of steamed into it as usual, so apologies for that. That one there, So that one there is 0 to 30 volts. Let's make sure you can see it. Yeah. So that one there is 0 to 30 volts, and I'll put some resistors in series with it on this power supply board somewhere. So that will actually read 0 to 3 kV. Then we've got in the middle, I'll have the grid current. In the middle I'll have the grid current. Sorry about that, I'm talking away from the camera, you might not have heard that. And if you heard it twice, I'm sure it won't kill you. Now, like that, and then like that. And they'll be on the part of the front panel that's got the power supply behind it. Remember I said there's going to be a screen front to back about there? It might actually be a bit further over. Something like that. And that will be plate current, grid current, and HT voltage. So this is a 1 milliamp meter. I'll put a 0.4 ohm resistor across that to shunt that to 500 milliamps for grid current. 1 amp meter for anode current remains as it is. And when it comes to the switches, I thought I'll arrange the switches in a sort of linear fashion. So you'd have on off, then a red one probably for on off would, so when you flick the on switch that will start the heaters, it will start the blower. Then the red one maybe for HT on, and then then a green one there for then a green one there like that for standby and operate. And all that would do is turn on the supply to the switching relays. If the light's good enough for you to actually see that. Too many shadows here. The trouble is it's in the evening, and there's not very much light. I'll try and get the light over there a bit. Maybe that. It's pulling the mains lead across the blade of a chainsaw just to emphasise the safety factor. Now, where was I? Okay, so the front panel. So it will look something like that. I'll paint the panel black, of course. So on off, which will be, as soon as you turn that on, heaters and blower will come on. The red one, no mistaking, you're turning on the HT with that, and the green one just operate and standby. So because there's going to be one capacitor below the other one, there's quite nice tuning knobs here, or quite nice knobs that will do fine. Sort of pretty typical hobby electronics type knobs. There's one there. So there'll be one on the load, another one there on the tune. Then another one over here will have the ceramic band switch, a nice ceramic band switch there, which will switch the tappings on the tank coil, which will be here, and that's going to be about there probably. But it'll have one of those knobs on it, so that'll be there like that. And then the input, remember it's an L input, L tuning circuit on the input. So there's only two controls, one will be C and one will be L, and I haven't decided yet whether it's going to be an adjustable inductor or whether it's going to be switchable. But these will be at the same level as that to make it look sort of nice and linear, and probably have that below that and that sort of in the middle between those two. So it's got a sort of fairly linear looking layout. Does that look reasonably linear? Yeah, I think it does. So a linear layout for a linear amplifier. Well, hopefully anyway. So there we go. That's what I've got. That's what I've got so far. I don't think I can show you the transformer in this light very well. I'll just take this thing off of here. So you can see the the arrangement with the transformer there and the chopping board to the left of it, and the bracket at the bottom of the chopping board. There's one on the back of the chopping board as well, which will hold it vertical, because I'm having all the capacitors, remember, mounted on here, and the rectifiers. Actually, it might be rectifiers there and capacitors there, and the transformer itself, you can see it, but that's really come up well. It's come up like a brand new transformer. I haven't got the fuses in there yet, but basically the idea of this is that this enclosure has these removable side panels, so I could remove this side panel, and without having to fumble around in here and get to funny positions, I can measure. This will be the AC for the HT, this will be the AC for the filament or the heater. Oh, actually there'll be another one of these on here. I'll have to move this up a little bit and put a third one on for the transformer for the 12 volt relay supply. But I'll be able to just measure, you know, the AC on these fuses, and this will be the equipment side, so I'll just be able to tell if one of these fuses is blown very easily with a meter. I'll be able to test all my HT very easily, and I'll probably have a bias adjust arrangement in here somewhere as well, so I won't put a knob on the front to do that, because it's not something that would need to be adjusted. Once it's set up, that'll be that, so it'll be a preset in here, and if it needs adjusting again, just have to pop the side off and do it, and be very careful because the HT will be there. But anyway, that's how it's coming along. I've got a back panel for it as well. Of course, these the panels are 5mm too wide. I wanted 600 from side to side by 295, and I managed to get some 600 by 300. So I'm going to have to, pardon me, get one of those hacksaws, you know, just a saw blade with a handle, and then cut a strip off, and then file it all nice and neat to get the front and rear panels exactly the right size. That's the top of the transformer. See, I put the new bolt in there as I said I was going to. Got rid of the rust. It's cleaned up a treat. All these new terminals on it. So yeah, very pleased with the way that's turned out. It looks like a brand new transformer. I might have said that already. Oh, there we go. I did say I hadn't yet put any screws in my chopping board. Anyway, that is the state of play at the moment with the amplifier. So I've still been running around getting a few bits and pieces for it, and it is still progressing. So hopefully it might actually get to be completed. I might get as far as the firing up and testing video, you never know. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.